Good morning. I thought I would wake up, have a cup of coffee. Been waking up earlier lately. I've been waking up a lot earlier. So I thought, what the heck? Might as well. You guys like my kitchen a lot. Hi, Diane. Good morning to you. Oh, Texas. What's the weather like in Texas? Supposedly they got a Pineapple Express in California. I'm not seeing much over here, so it's not that bad. Hi, Mighty Alfie. Yeah. This is what uh, Victorians call my first sleep. Have you ever heard of this? Humans are evolved to sleep 3 times in a 24-hour cycle. Mila, what are you doing? Mila? Oh, she's over there. So the first sleep is usually, around 9 o'clock, give or take. It can be later. I mean, if you had kerosene, right? But most people went to bed, say 9, 10 o'clock, and then they woke up from their first sleep at around 3:30 in the morning. And they might have had a little snacky poo, fed the animals, tended the fire. It was very important to tend the fire. And they might go back to bed around 5:30 and then get up again around 7, 7:30, 8, you know. And then so that was your second sleep. Your second sleep is, you might go back to bed 5:36, whatever. That was usually after they fed their animals. People would also get up and write in their diaries. They would do an account and reckoning, or what was called burn midnight oil, which was expensive, right? If you were a pioneer, you wanted to conserve your kerosene. So then you would work and it would get too hot in the day. And your lady would come and bring you your meal. And then you would have a nap, and that would be your third sleep. Then you would get up, go back to work as it was cooling after your siesta, right? And then when the sun is setting between 5 and 7, you finish your work, and the cycle continues. Some water. So I'm a naturopathic doctor. I've always wanted to be a witch, but I thought I would be a scientist first. So this is the place where science and art, and mysticism meet. This is something I really love. This is the bowl I use to make my herbal medicines for people. I had 2 clients yesterday, so I had to get medicine out for 2 clients. But everybody's medicine is different. Everyone's vibration is different. And I don't measure. It's kind of like a Jewish lady's recipe of herbs. I don't measure. I know that I'm supposed to give 2 ounces per order, so I try to get it close to 2 ounces. But I can have anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 ingredients, depending upon what the person's vibration is. But yesterday I had a diverticulitis case that was very interesting. But it was interesting because I went into the energy, and I always give sage for diverticulitis. But I thought, well, the herbal treatment is complete, but I felt there's something missing. There's something missing. And it was Pau d'Arco. Pau d'Arco was what the person needed, which will take out, I guess, some of the microbes. But what's interesting is that I always put a lot of carminatives in my medicine, which is like fennel, cardamom, etc. If it's a digestive medicine, so I just love smelling it. I just love smelling the herbs. People, when they come to visit my home, my sister was here the other day. She said, "Wow, your home smells like, what does my home smell of? Just smells good, Whimsy." Yeah. Well, it's supposed to smell good. It's supposed to smell like a witch's home, right? There she is. Oh, hello. Are you coming? Michaela, what happened? You fell. Come on. Let's go. You coming? You coming? You want to try again? Come on. Let's go. Okay. She was trying and she fell. All right. Would you guys like to do? Yeah, that's a normal sleep pattern, and you likely are descended from farmers. Yeah. Tea tree oil, and you can buy tea tree oil sponges, and you can buy tea tree oil cleaner, and tea tree oil, also neem, are both very strong antifungals. But the best antifungal is tea tree. And if you leave cloth or anything soaked in tea tree in the bathroom, it will get rid of the mold. Honey, what are you doing? If you want to, she wants attention right now. Baby, why don't you come over here? You coming? Why don't you come? You coming? Yeah, she'll figure it out. You guys want to do some cards, or you just want to, do you want to see some of the herbs, or yeah, she had to drink it internally. It was for diverticulitis. Oh, the mold is in the chest. Then I would do hot water, where you go over like this. Steam. I would do a steam treatment, and I would put essential oil in. I would put breathe essential oil with like eucalyptus, tea tree, etc. And I would do inhalation treatments. And then I would also probably, well, you can contact me. I would probably put my information is below, maybe not this video, but in the description below. You can just Booksy, Dr. Whimsy at Booksy. I'm a telemedicine doctor, so I can see you via the internet. Michaela, you don't want to come up and say hi to everybody? They're up here right here now. Do you want to see your audience? Come here. Come here. What are you doing? There you go. That's it. Just wanted to know if you wanted to join us. That's all. Nobody was out to get you. There was no major conspiracies. That's it. Hi. How you doing? There you are. They just like you. Yes, they like you. They wanted to say hello. Well, we're just hanging out. I love you. Is that your thank you for including you in today's coffee, Tarot? See how nice she is? Yes? You wanna sit there? That's okay, I can work around you. Let's do the empath prayer. Let's all come together. She doesn't wanna be in the middle of that. Okay, because she realizes I'm gonna work. Okay. Okay, let's do it together. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. How is everybody feeling? Is everybody okay? Is everybody good? How is your sense of self-worth? Are you all on your path? Are you on your path? Do you respect your mission? Who here knows that they have a mission in this, uh, a mission in this simulation, we'll call it? What's your mission in the simulation? Well, what's your fundamental drive? What is your fundamental drive? Terry Courts says that she does not know what her path is. So let's see. Terry Courts, what is your mission? Your mission, your primary mission is to create a home with another person. And we live in a society that has kind of declared war on love and the pioneer family. Like, I'm a pioneer woman, and it sounds like, Terry, you're a pioneer gal, in the sense that love, marriage, partnership, the sacred connection with another person, trust, building a life with another person is a pretty gosh darn important part of who you are. And I would say that it's primary. So your primary drive right now is to have a working relationship with another person. It's the sacred relationship with another person. But unfortunately, you keep picking polar bears, my friend. So basically, I think for you, if your primary drive is to find somebody to love and to have that love be something that can grow into making the world a better place, when you really truly love others, then you can transfer that to the outside world, right? So that's the purpose of true love. True love is something that can be used as a tool to help another human being. And so I think the takeaway, Terry, is that what you really want is you want true love so that it can be a driving force for good in your life. And so what you should seek is true love. And just don't do it on the internet, because there's some crazy scams out there. So it means just making yourself available to an authentic relationship. You won't get it in Hollywood. You won't get that in Hollywood, because Hollywood is fake. That's why Hollywood is dying. Remember, I said it had a decade maybe, and that was what, 5 years ago? So they got another 5 years. People would rather see what's real. Sometimes I like to put on funny hats and people hate it. They're like, no, be real, be real. We want the real. I'm like, okay, you want the real? I just woke up. I'm having a cup of coffee and this is my kitchen. Yeah, Whimsy. Okay. Boy, this is easy. This is an easy channel. right? Because people are just sick of the BS. They're just sick of the lies. They're sick of trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they wanna see somebody who's genuinely happy, living below their means, not stressing, and this is pretty much what it looks like, a studio in a rent-controlled place in downtown Portland, uh, doing tarot card readings, uh, giving advice about herbal medicine and trying to live the good life, right? So, and keeping my life simple so that it's freed up to grow, evolve, help people, and continue to learn myself. I mean, the truth to be told, one's personal needs, if you look at just from an anthropological perspective, people don't really need very much to be happy, do they? They need true love to know what it is to be truly loved and accepted for who they are, to feel that they're being heard and listened to, and so if we want that, we should give it to someone else, right? Um, they wanna be safe, they wanna be warm, right? Nutritious food, a loving family and community, a spirituality that lifts them up and lifts others up and brings community together. These are the things. Pasta, come on, man. A good pasta fagioli, the simple life, right? A walk on the beach or walking hand in hand with your beloved and watching the sunset. How much does that cost? A cuddle on a park bench, you know, sharing the last plate of French fries, right? These are the things we remember, and they really don't cost a lot. So money is a tool to get the work done, but it is not a rep but it has its limits. You need enough money to have your personal needs met, and then you have to live, what, below your means and save 15% for your retirement, right? Okay, so I always tell people to just go on a budget. You won't keep to it, but it'll at least give you a rough idea of what's going on, and just have your happiness be your focus. When you think about the Sikh tradition and probably the Sufi also, um, they weren't out to be Bollywood stars. They were happy to own a 7-Eleven and work an honest, decent wage, and the rest of the time could be spent studying prayers and meditating and trying to get close to God. But as long as you're serving humanity in some capacity and living a clean life, you're pretty much going to experience true love in this lifetime. You're not going to experience true love in this lifetime if you are pathologically lying to yourself and other people to have your personal needs met. In fact, it's a guarantee you won't. So it doesn't matter if you're the richest guy in the world or the poorest guy in the world. What's keeping true love out of your life is your inability to live the straight and narrow. And there's, yeah, it's frustrating, a person who's working their ass off and they can't get a break. And one should seek community when that happens and seek allies when that happens. But it should not be an excuse for giving up one's ethics. You know what I mean? And I see that a lot in America, is that a lot of people are giving up their ethics. They're running into crypto. Well, you're taking your money out of the US dollar when you do that, and you're gambling with a currency that's linked to mobsters and criminals, and now they're shorting it. So they'll get you to invest in some new coin, and then all these people will run to the new coin. And then as soon as everybody runs to the new coin, they'll pull their money out and put it into Bitcoin. So now they start amassing more Bitcoin, and that's how they get all the Bitcoin. That's how they got all the Bitcoin, by promoting and getting people to pour their money into another coin, shorting that, and then pulling the money out and then transferring it over to Bitcoin. So what do you get? You get a lot of Bitcoin, particularly if you can time it when the Bitcoin is low. You see what you got? You got a little scam going on. And if you get a troll farm going, where you've got 100 people trying to sell some bogus coin, so you put in the initial amount when it's low, and then you talk it up, talk it up, talk it up, and then you take everybody's money, and the next thing you know, you own a third of the Bitcoin, right? So that's not going to get you true love either, is it? Might get your rocket ship built, right? But it's not going to get you true love, right? It might get you in a federal prison. Yeah. So good morning, Rose Blue. So what do we learn from all of this? We learn that money is a tool. So if you are the richest person in the world, or you're a rich person, more money is not going to make you personally happy, because I mean, how many gold toilets can you have? But it can be used as a tool to build a company, to influence political leaders, etc. It's power. And that's what's so dangerous about it, right? It's consolidated power. It's neutral. Money is neutral. It's neutral power. And that's what's so dangerous about it. But Bitcoin is very, very dangerous for the stability of the United States. I mean, I respect Elon Musk for promoting kindness over confrontation, but he had a post recently, "What went wrong with America?" And I couldn't help but respond by saying, "Well, you went wrong with America, Elon Musk." You own 1/3 of Bitcoin that's circulating. By the way, they've seized a couple billion worth of Bitcoin, because the troll farm people got smart and are now handing everything over. And so the oligarchs that are amassing all this wealth are probably going to go next. But yeah, so you're what went wrong with America, right? Because you encourage people to pull their money out of the US dollar. You used cryptocurrency to fund your rocket ships, and then you felt really bad about defrauding all these people, but you had no choice, because hey, we need to build a rocket to Mars. So you basically defrauded people, what you thought was legally, by shorting crypto, and then publicly said you should never short crypto, while simultaneously being in on it at the whole entire time. We just live in a corrupt world where people are trying to centralize power, and they're mowing everybody down to do it. And they feel justified, right? Whether it's, we've got to get off this planet. This planet could blow well, that's true. So the planet blows up and we all die. It doesn't mean you get to steal everyone's money to build a rocket. It was like, can we just calm down for a minute, right? How much time do we have before Yellowstone blows up, right? Don't they have a mega volcano in Yellowstone, and we're all going to be gassed and die when it happens, and it could happen any day now? I mean, so what are we going to do about it? I mean, these are things to think. Hi, Denson. Denise, I'm sorry. Shalom to you as well. So we have a choice, people. We have a choice. We can be part of the good or not. How do we get to true love? How do we get to true love? By being authentic and by being good people and by not lying to ourselves. The other thing they're saying is that one should model their life after those they truly respect. One should model their life, uh, 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 those we truly respect. For example, for Christians, uh, they just focus on, well, what did Jesus do? How can I model myself? That's my mentor, because you have the good book. And so there has to be ethics. How do you get to the sacred in your life? How do you create a sacred relationship with another person? Number one is trust. You have to be completely honest with the other person, right? You have to be willing to be honest. And you have to be respectful. So if you talk to somebody in a manner that's not respectful, screw you. Those are like punching holes in the sacred space that you could be creating with another person. I have a history of that, where I can hit below the belt. And then you can't take it back once you say it, right? So that's how you get to true love. Trust, honesty, respect, grace, right? But the book can often be wisdom, following the good book. It's interesting. It's almost like a Jesus imagery they're using here. The book, following the man, so it's kind of like following the ethics of a decent person. This is why autobiographies are so great, because truly great and remarkable people, if we read the lives of truly great and remarkable people, they inspire us to be truly great and remarkable people ourselves. It gets into us and it influences us and it makes us better human beings. The sun comes out for us, a letter. So I would say, for those people who are still searching, what is your meaning? Look to the things that attract you. For example, I love reading books about medicine women in ancient times, the witches of ancient times, with their scrying and looking at the cards. And now I have become the crone. I have become that woman. So, yeah, seek your bliss, right? We all have to seek our bliss. Yes, and Jesus is not allowed into Bethlehem because the Palestinian Authority has blocked Jews from, so Jesus can't go to Bethlehem. So there you go. Christmas was canceled, by the way. And the Christians all left Bethlehem because they were being persecuted. So there are only 15% of the population now in Bethlehem, I think. Yes, the joys of politics and war. So what do you think? Who here has true love in their lives? Let's talk about true love. We've talked this morning's conversation, if you're just joining us. We're having a cup of coffee, we're waking up together, and we're talking about how do you get to true love. And we've determined how you can't get to true love. You can't buy true love, can you? Right? You can't buy it. So it's how much money is in your bank account. If you really say, God, I want someone to love me, but I'm broke. Here's the good news. The amount of money you have has zero impact. I'm just talking about the science. No, I've studied the science of true love and the 36 questions. 36 questions to get a stranger to fall in love with you, if they're supposed to fall in love with you. And they become increasingly more intimate. And this is the love is blind experiment. If this person is compatible with you, have a conversation. Now, the Victorians, Orthodox Jews, Muslims, they write letters back and forth with the intended that they may marry. I think Hindu as well, Indian culture. And the purpose of the letter writing is to share the 36 questions. And it's really rather romantic when you think about it. It's to really get to know the other person in letter writing. And this is what the Victorians would do. Dear sir, today I was at my knitting and I was reading. And then he would write back, oh, have you read such and such? And then he would discuss with his intended the book. And what they were doing was they were experimenting with intimacy before they met. And it might go on for 4 months to a year, at which point they would then publicly meet for a cup of coffee or whatnot. You see, you've already whittled away the BS. You've already discovered that you're quite compatible, and now you can officially meet for tea, right? And they might take you for a stroll in the park, right? You've seen the movies. And then the banns, right? Then the public announcement, right? And they're usually married within 3 months after that, right? So what did they get right and what did they get wrong? So what they got right was they slowed down. So one of the things we learn about true love is that people need to slow it down, right? So it's not going to be found on Bumble. Swipe left, swipe right. A lot of the time, the people we would have fallen in love with, we're not going to swipe because it takes a tremendous amount of time to feel comfortable with another human being. And that's because most people, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, are shy. And people deal with their shyness in different ways, right? One way that people deal with shyness is by being hostile. Get away from me. Well, why is that person acting like that? Because they're shy. They can't handle someone being close to them, right? So instead of learning the tools of how to handle their shyness or fear of social situations, they learn to be cranky, right? So we have to assume that a large percentage of us are just really shy when it comes to such things. And so true love requires time for us to feel comfortable with another person. And these letter writings can be a great way for shy people to connect. The problem is, again, there's so many fraudsters out there. I love you. And they use neuro-linguistic programming, and it's like all this BS. And so it's really hard to just connect with a good person. And then the other thing, like I said, that you need for true love is you need an honest space where people are not going to play games. And that's also really difficult, is because everybody plays games. And this is, I think, very true in Hollywood, right? Where everybody's got makeup. And it's like, yeah, you want to look good on a date, but can you keep it up? If you are living in some fantasy about the person looking amazing and whatnot, the truth is people are not going to be able to keep it up. That's why they recommend people go on dates like a hike when they're in sweats and a cup of coffee, so that it's not, you're seeing somebody at their most casual. You want people to be as comfortable as possible on a date. But I like dressing. Well, once you guys are in a committed relationship, then you can. But if you go too far, these are all the mistakes we made in the past too, right? We went over the top. We tried to over impress, and what happened? They didn't get to find out who we really are, right? Respect is an interesting thing that comes up a lot. This is from Brené Brown. Did I spell her name right? The gifts of imperfection. You have to be authentic when you come to the table. if you're going to experience true love. You can't present yourself as something that you are not. And that means respect. So respect for yourself. If you're not okay with how you look at 6 a.m. with your hair tousled, then then the other person's going to have a problem with you looking like crap at 6 a.m. But if you can send a picture like that out to another person and they can laugh and say, works for me, then that guy is a keeper, or that girl is a keeper, right? So you have to respect yourself, and you also have to respect your vision. Like, I've gone through periods in my life where I don't respect my vision, I don't respect my work, where you get really down on yourself and you think, well, is my mission of value? And this is the area where I do respect Elon Musk, right? Even though I don't respect his business model, right? It's that he does inspire other people. Like, well, don't chase after me. What's your vision? What's your vision? Get into your vision. Respect yourself enough to put the time into whatever your vision is. And so that's something about him that I do respect. No one's going to respect your vision unless you respect it. Do you respect yourself? Do you respect your vision? Do you consider yourself a queen, a king? And if you do, why are you allowing people to treat you like that? You cannot talk to the queen like that. You cannot talk to the king like that. I mean, you get to a point when you respect yourself where you don't have to be a bully, but you just have to say, I'd rather spend my time somewhere else. The Bachelor, I don't know that show very well, but the best show on finding love is probably Love is Blind, because it's based on real science. But I think it came out of Seattle, University of Washington, and a couple of the couples got married, which I thought was really cute. You're supposed to get through the 36 questions. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite movie? What is your favorite thing to do on a date? Your basic family information, the type of house you want to live in, biggest fears, hopes and fears, dreams, favorite food. Spaghetti bolognese is what I said. I've done it a couple times. I tried it once with a male friend of mine. It just didn't take off. We tried. Maybe we can fall in love. Yeah, this is not working. I said spaghetti bolognese, and he's like a vegan. I'm like, are you? Yeah, no. Will you ever do a vegan? No, I'm sorry. I'm mostly plant-based, but there comes, maybe a couple times a year, I like a good traditional spaghetti bolognese. I'm not talking every day, people, but come on, man. When it's made right, take me back to Italy, right? Favorite color, scarlet red. I have made peace with it. I am an Aries, and I love scarlet red. Most men say blue, but I've had a couple guys surprise me on that one. I would say, like, majority of guys say blue, but I had one guy recently say that he liked beige and neutral colors, and I thought, oh, well, that was a little different. Yeah. Yeah, this is my first sleep. I actually fell asleep in my jeans and my t-shirt reading Behave. Have you guys seen this book? This is like the guy who thinks human beings have no free will. But he's also the guy that talks about why there are so many transgender. Y'all know why there are so many transgenders being born right now? Because of the estrogen in the water. It's causing female brains to grow. Have you seen this guy? Let me get you. Is that a Berkeley? Let me make sure you guys can see this, but yeah, so what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway? We have an environmental catastrophe on our hands. That's the takeaway. You know, why are human beings ethical? Because we've evolved to cooperate, right? Biological anthropology. Well, I'm an anthropologist, so I find his work interesting. But yes, so what's happening to the fish right now? What's happening to the fish right now? They're becoming bisexual, right? The amphibians and fish are becoming bisexual because their eggs are in the water, right? Where they're being exposed to microplastics. And here's another word you guys are going to love. It's called xenoestrogens. And that's because plastic was discovered when they were trying to make the birth control pill. Plastic is estrogen. It's synthetic estrogen. So it winds up in the water. So you wind up with fragile Y, and you wind up with an estrogen signal in embryological development. And so what happens is you want the Y signal in brain development is blocked by Isn't this horrible? You're like, no! We got a problem, folks. Microplastics, xenoestrogens. And so what happens is they circulate in the bloodstream of the mother. It impacts the development of the baby's brain. And so you wind up with a transgender. This is not the only reason. I don't want people to think, well, no, I'm saying this is one phenomenon we're seeing. One phenomenon, not the only reason. That we're seeing with microplastics. And so if you have a female brain, but you're presenting as male, it could be one of the reasons. Also, estrogen-like drugs that women were given in the 50s is now getting linked to it. So it's very interesting. Yeah, the lobsters. Well, the problem with fish is that they lay their eggs in the water. And so it's, and the same is true for frogs, which is why we're seeing the frogs getting wiped out and frogs getting deformed. And the problem with bisexual amphibians and fish is that they then cannot reproduce, so they're going extinct. And the other thing is that birth control pills, women are urinating out the metabolites of the birth control pills, which is also winding up in the water. Then the water is getting recirculated, and we still may have high levels of these hormones in the water. So the pregnant woman drinks it again, and we have the possible feminization in brain development, in embryological development. So we know what the possible cause is, and yet people would rather bash and beat up trans people as if they've committed some crime than commit to cleaning up an environmental catastrophe, which we have on our hands right now with microplastics. Anybody want to talk about it? See, you haven't even had your coffee yet. How could you do this to us, Dr. Anderson? You're such a wicked, wicked, wicked witch. I know. But you love me for it, don't you? You love me for it. Hi, Jane the Seeker. Oh my goodness, a lobster that was bisexual. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Your daddy needs a haircut, Rose Blue. Oh, goody. Well, I heard the Senior Bachelor was stupid. I don't know. I didn't see the Senior Bachelor, but heavy metals are a problem too. And there's also an interesting correlation between heavy metals and mold. Mhm. Let's see. What are the efforts to clean up plastics from the atmosphere? There could be contracts given by the American government to uh, companies for cleanage. The problem is that theft and mismanagement is a major problem. You can see here the engagement ring, which would indicate that some kind of an offer. Storm clouds would be a possibility that it's going to be a difficult thing. So you could have governments paying companies like Ocean Cleanup so they get the contract. So the contract goes to Ocean Cleanup. So you have this contract or proposal. It starts off rocky with these companies. And then you get the fox, which could indicate attempts to steal or corruption in this cleanup. This is a good card. It has to do with travel and commerce. And this would be putting heads together or psychic phenomenon. So in the end, people will come up with a way to better clean the water. But yeah, it looks like it's a process that's going to take a while. Yes, heavy metal and osteoporosis. Yes. And one of the things that's interesting about that is that lead can get into the bone. And when you have heavy metals in bone, it's not letting me pin it for some reason. When you have heavy metal in bone, it inhibits heavy calcification, healthy calcification, bone deposition. So if that's the problem with the metal, it blocks healthy bone composition. I love the Lettermans too. I think that it's very beautiful visuals. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, I can answer them. You guys aren't asking any questions, so we're just talking. It's just morning with the doctor, it's just a morning with the doctor. Also, I can answer basic questions about the herbs. As you know, I have 413 different herbs I use as a doctor. And any questions you have about them? I was busy yesterday. This is what busy looks like. Look at that. Is that not insane? That is me munching on crackers, grinding, having coffee, and trying to get people's herbs out. Is that not criminal? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Hey, you want to see it all? Show it to us, Whimsy. Show us you're crazy. This is not exactly a porn channel. Unless you love herbs as much as we do. If you love herbs and tarot, and coffee, if you just want to hang out with a crazy naturopathic doctor, I'm your girl. I'm the good witch. She came from a star. She came from a star. Yes. See the young lady who came from a star. You know, do you guys want me to ever play songs for you? I've been practicing my guitar, and I'm just wondering if you guys ever want me to do a concert. Should it just be for members or? Yes, Lily of the Valley is used for congestive heart failure. So is Digitalis. But I wouldn't do that for congestive heart failure. I'd be more inclined to want to move towards mild diuretics like dandelion. And yeah, I don't know what Mounjaro is. Yes, lion's mane research is valid. I do have some. Let me show you. Usually it will come in a powder. I do add it to the teas, so sometimes you'll get a powder. I haven't been able to find it chopped, so unfortunately, it does come in a powder. And it is a fairly benign. Studies were done on rats. I actually like it. In terms of the best thing for your memory, I would say increase your circulation so that nutrition can get to the brain. Understand that hormone levels decline as we age. If you want to optimize your use of the hormones that you're currently producing, you must circulate the hormones. And that means walk, 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 swim, 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 move, 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 breathe, 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 because that's how we pump the nutrition to the rest of the body. And with memory, we usually think in terms of clearing. We want to think in terms of flow. So, is there flow to the heart? Is there flow and circulation? And so the first thing is to remove animal fat from your diet. I don't want any lard in your arteries. Goodbye chicken skins. All fat must be removed, all animal fat. Boiling chicken is great. You boil the chicken, boil the chicken, boil the chicken, boil all the fat off of it. And then you just, throw out the skin, boil the chicken, and, just eat the meat. Like that would be the leanest. But the idea is if you need meat protein, but you don't need the fat, a domesticated animal might have 20% or more animal fat. They fatten them, whereas a wild animal, like a deer, is lean. It's got a much lower fat percentage. So it's just bad fat, and it's not high in omegas either. So in terms of just brain health, the first thing is to calorie restriction. If you really want to help your brain, eat less food. So let's talk about brain health first. You're like, I'm afraid for my brain. Number one, eat less. Be a little hungry. This is going to increase circulation, so you have less fatty deposits. You want to eat less. Number two, move more. This will circulate your nutrition, and it will also circulate your hormones so that your hormones can do their job. Your hormones can't do their job if they're not getting to the tissue, and the only way the hormones are going to get to the tissue is if you circulate them. So the hormones, we're thinking about thyroid hormone. If you've got hypothyroidism, then you need to maximize your exercise, because your exercise will maximize circulation of thyroid hormone. Sex hormones, same thing. Circulation will bring sex hormones to the tissue, which is why people who exercise tend to have a higher sex drive. And then, of course, oxygen, and also removing waste, right? Removing waste from the tissue. So These are just suggestions for overall general health, but they definitely apply to brain health. In terms of the food you should be eating, we recommend a diet that's 80-20. That's usually what I recommend. That means that 80% of the diet should be from plants and 20% can be from the animal kingdom. So if we're looking at the animal kingdom, the best foods from the animal kingdom would be fish. That's low in mercury. Yep. Some farm-raised fish is not bad for you. Trout farm-raised, catfish farm-raised, mahi-mahi farm-raised is fine. But what we want to be aware of is mercury. I ate a whole can of tuna last night, so I am mercuried out for the next couple weeks, right? Because there's so much mercury in tuna. If you go with the cheaper chunk light tuna, which I forgot to get when I was shopping, you're going to be getting only a third of the mercury you would get in the albacore. So albacore is more expensive and higher in mercury. And not necessarily tastes better. I actually don't mind the other one. It actually tastes okay to me. I think that's more marketing than anything else. Albacore is a little dry, you know what I mean? Yeah, so then we have to look at the diet. So we're talking about 80-20. I am not a fan of the keto diet unless you have seizure. Keto is very hard on the kidneys. No to keto. Instead, I want people mostly on the zone diet. And so 35% of your plate can be a starch. There's nothing wrong with having a starch. Sweet potato and yams are good starches because they're loaded with bioflavonoids. But yeah, that's what I do. I put people on the zone. I try to, if you're having trouble digesting your food, then a slow cooker can help. I like slow cooking. I think slow cooking is a delicious way to cook. When I was I'm so into slow cooking, or what they call Hamish cooking, where there's some person in the back of the kitchen slow cooking all day long, that when I got to Israel, they're called Hamish restaurants or worker restaurants. And it's usually some dive where the workers go and get hot plates of hummus, hot plates of stuffed cabbage and whatnot. And I think I was at a workers bar, a hummus place every day I was in Israel. Just because the food, that slow cooking, I love that stuff. So yeah, I ate a ton of that. Whoops. I wonder if I can show. Do you guys want to see some? Did I show you guys the pictures of some of the food? Oh my God. Workers' food. Workers' food. Let me see if I can. That would be like, this is an example of a classic meal. And what's interesting is that it's vegan, right? You guys see it's vegan, but this would be a classic worker's meal. The hummus is hot. They've just mashed it for me. They just prepared it hot. So these are hot chickpeas that have been mashed with tahini and garlic. It comes steaming hot with some parsley, a little olive oil he put on it. You can see the olive oil here. And then a nice Israeli chop salad and some pita, pickles. I love the sweet onion. I always put pickles and sweet onion. By the way, quercetin, which is an anti-inflammatory, is found in the sweet onion. Got a little bit of spice there, bottle of water. And, you're good to go, people. You're good to go. So I wasn't, I ate that every day when I was in Israel. That what you just saw there was that was the meal I literally had every single day in Israel. So needless to say, I lost a lot of weight, right? Because I mean, when you're eating like that, oh my God, it was so good. Hold on, let's see here. Yeah, it was my life. I mean, what can I tell you guys? It was my life. It tasted good. I ate everything. The pattern is forming. Hamish. You see the food? This is Hamish food. You see? It's just from the mama's kitchen. Oh my God. You see that? Oh, you got Baltic Mir. You see, you guys thought I ate tons of meat and all kinds. I have no restrictions, but that pretty much is the base of my diet. Yeah. Cayenne first thing in the water. Well, that would irritate me but it is an antimicrobial. I think on an empty stomach, I would not want to do cayenne. Some Victorians would do vinegar in the morning, vinegar in the water with a little bit of honey. And that makes sense because vinegar would wash. You could it's a vinegar wash, which also there's some studies on calcium. So if you're worried about your gallbladder, people would drink vinegar and do a vinegar wash in the morning. There's some evidence this stuff works, I mean, my thing is be open-minded. What is the results of, if you take calcium and you put it in vinegar, what happens? It decalcifies, right? So if you have vinegar water and you drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach and it has to pass through the duodenum, could it theoretically impact if you had a blockage? Sure, why not? Be open-minded, give it a try, might work. I mean, they presented when I was at the Bastyr University that, yeah, it works. They would also do, well, Edgar Casey would do like castor oil packs, which would also loosen the gallstones, and then the vinegar would dissolve them when you would drink the vinegar. So yeah, I mean, this stuff works. This is Victorian stuff that was simple and cheap to avoid surgery. Now, depending, if it's so bad you need surgery, but they're talking about mild cases of cholecystitis and whatnot. Anyway, so what are you guys having for breakfast? Yeah, Bragg's. Bragg's was the one, that was most recommended. Mm-hmm. Good company. Mm-hmm. Mothers. Mm-hmm. Oh, you've got friends from Israel. Well, the food is amazing. If I move back there, I might move back to Israel. I'm a dual citizen. it was emotionally really hard for me to be there after October 7th. So, it gets to you, right? People are trying to kill you, it gets to you. Oh, yummy. Coffee with coconut milk and agave. That sounds like a very nice, morning. Now, some doctors like, Dr. Amen, Daniel Amen, he does not like coffee because it inhibits circulation to the brain. Other people say that coffee in moderation is fine. I do drink coffee. I have not found giving up coffee to be helpful for my brain function. In fact, quite the opposite. When I was in medical school and gave up coffee, it's like, Dr. Anderson, Dr. Anderson, drink some coffee, Dr. Anderson. Yeah. Right? So, uh, do what you feel is right. You do you, boo. That's my suggestion as a physician. Well, I can't make those decisions for people. I personally, I don't personally plan on giving up my coffee anytime soon. Um, if you guys need to book me as a doctor, telemedicine, or a tarot reader, I don't know, it's all blurring together these days. If you need to see me as a witch, just go there. You can't find fish alternatives? Well, everything's going to be grown in a petri dish pretty soon anyway. I mean, we're moving on to just lab grown fish, lab grown meat. I mean, I actually wrote Elon Musk and said, "Would you stop propping up?" He has to get along with everybody because he's in Texas now. So he's like, "It's okay if you occasionally have a hamburger." Damn well that's a problem. We said occasionally. He said occasionally, right? So I said, "Why don't you have Texas be the leader in the best lab-grown Texas steaks? Because you know what's coming. So why not just lead the herd, as they say? Ha, 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 ha." Because Texas is going to get taken. Come on, they're going to go under just because of stubbornness. No, we refuse to be part of the lab meat. Come on, y'all know where we're headed. So why don't you be the best? And then you guys can brag that it tastes exactly like it came off the farm. Because if Texas doesn't get with the program, they're going belly up. Because I'm telling you, lab meat is going to be all over the place in another 5 to 10 years. And it's going to be cleaner, and you're not going to have to worry about salmonella, and it's going to be leaner, so you're not going to have to worry about heart disease, and it's going to be more humane. And so people are going to be like, screw this crap. Why kill an animal when we can just get the same thing, like beer ferment? It's the same cells, by the way. People think it's going to kill me. No, it's the same exact cells. It's just that they're grown in fermentation like growing beer. So if you can grow the cells without it hanging off of an animal's bone and killing an animal. Now, some vegans don't want to touch it. That's their right. Or they want to use it for dog food. I think that's another great idea, cat food. Oh, I'll try it. In fact, I look forward to it. You know why I want to try it? Because it's going to be the lean meat without the fat. And so I'm always, having to cut away the fat. So these blocks of Petri pure protein chicken, I think that's great. The only fat is going to be the olive oil. So I can't wait till it starts to come out. Because as a scientist, I'm like, perfect. That's what I want. Yes, without the fat cells. Yes, exactly. Just the protein cells, please. Thank you. Oh, simulation theory. So simulation theory, it's a short story. I wrote a short story for fun where everything is a simulation. And in this world, the king is, of course, Elon Musk. He's the king. He just invented this simulation, a little kid. And then he invites his little girlfriend over, Whimsy, and they create this simulation. And then it gets out of hand. And then they have to call a meeting, everybody on the planet, and say, it's just a simulation. Don't take it seriously. We're going to make things better. And that was the joke. It was just a short story I wrote because I like to write. I'm a performance artist. Ever since I was a kid, I've written science fiction, fantasy stories. And so everybody wakes up in the simulation and realizes that it's a party hosted by Elon Musk and the Oracle of Whimsy, and that they didn't mean to hurt anybody, and we're sorry. And we're not going to blow the planet up like we've done so many times before in previous worlds. This time we're going to save the planet, and the bullying's going to stop, right? So, well, Elon Musk groupies do bully, and they do tend to bully Black people, LGBTQ, etc. And a person who claims to have been bullied in childhood should know better, right? Should know that that is not the way. You should be above that. If you have an IQ of 155, which is lower than mine, by the way, not to rub it in Mr. Musk's face, but mine is higher. You don't become the bigger monster than the monsters. That's not the antidote. The antidote is to retain your humanity. That's the antidote, right? All right, so I think I'm going to have some breakfast. Yes, gabapentin is a problem, and it is addictive. Retaining water in the left foot, that can be a circulatory problem. I always tell people to raise their feet, and you may want to be doing breathe essential oils like camphor essential oils with coconut oil, and massage towards the heart to help drain any congestion. Yeah, raising the legs and massaging with camphor or eucalyptus, salampah, and that will give enough stimulation, hopefully, to reduce if you're not able to walk on it. The fact that you broke your knee, I would raise the knee, and I would start doing gentle massage. All right, this is just for entertainment purposes. It's not medical advice or anything, just talking about stuff I would do. All right, thank you so much. If you're trying to get in for a tarot reading, check out my information that I have given you right here. There you go. If you need to see me for a tarot reading, all that stuff, the information is in Booksy. Please take care of yourselves, everybody, and be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah, exactly. Lymph massage. That's right.